Welcome everyone to our summer career series, and thank you for your patience. We had a little technical difficulties, but thank you everyone for your time today. My name is Nicole Wesley. I work at TheDream.Us as the Senior Program Manager of Career Supports. We are very excited to have our scholars and alumni attending this event, especially our new incoming scholars. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat if you would like to. It's a way for you to introduce yourself and connect to other scholars across the country. With that, I'm going to introduce our speaker for today's event, Charette Garcia. Charette is a documented professional with over 15 years of combined experience in counseling, career coaching, educational consulting, and a social impact entrepreneur. Charette was raised and born in Oaxaca, Mexico, and migrated with her single mom at the age of 9 years old. She completed up to her master's program undocumented in a time when DACA didn't exist. She is a founder of Undocumented Professionals Network, in which her research and work involves providing inclusive opportunities that includes the undocumented communities. She advocates for undocumented talent to get paid and to create paid opportunities for the undocumented communities in all fields. Thank you, Charette, for your time today, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and to all the amazing team here at TheDream.Us. I'm very, very excited to be here with all of you. And thank you so much again for your patience. I was having some technical problems, but I'm very excited to be here with all of you. Please feel free to use the chat. Definitely will be staying to answer any questions, but because we did get a little delay there, I am going to try to kind of go a little bit fast paced in some slides, but definitely not the important ones. This is the Career Pathways for Undocumented Students workshop, and I'm very excited to share all this wonderful information. I know that being an undocumented student myself up to my master's program, I was just like in this picture, very nervous, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And my goal with this workshop is that you get at least one thing that you can use after this workshop and use it and apply it and actually take some type of action as you continue your own career pathway. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to invite you today to have a lot of conversations. Some of those conversations are going to be, we're going to go and talk about employees versus self-employing. We're going to have an activity. We're going to talk about 10 steps to finding your own career pathway, or at least to help you find that along the way with and without work authorization. We're also going to have an action plan that I'm going to be sharing, but we are going to talk about that action plan in our second workshop because I'm very excited to be here with all of you tomorrow and share a little bit more information. And we are going to talk about the action plan tomorrow as well. And then just at the end, a closing and talking about a little bit about mental health at the end. Other than that, we are definitely probably going to be talking about so much other things, but I want to welcome you to those conversations because this is also your space. A little bit about me. Tomorrow, I'm going to share more about my career life, but I did want to talk about today about just introducing myself. My name is Charette Garcia, and I am the founder of Undocumented Professionals, and everything I talk about Undocumented Professionals is in regards to the immigration experience, being an undocumented professional. But we want to also remind ourselves that we are not just our immigration status. We are so much more than that. I am a mother of two, and I'm also the oldest daughter. I'm also the only one in my family currently still undocumented. My mom became a resident 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And she's finally, having the privilege to travel to her hometown and being the oldest and the only person now being undocumented in my immediate family. It has been very challenging, but I have a huge support system And I absolutely want to say that that has really helped me so much in my journey as I continued my education. And as I continued even now, being a DACA recipient, I do have the privileges of being now a DACA recipient. But I think for me, I really got worried because now I have 2 kids. I became a single mom. And really, because of everything we know is happening with DACA, it has always been, and I think all DACA recipients in some part of their journey, being a DACA recipient, we know that this is just a temporary program. We know that this is not a stable program. It's not a long-term program. So even myself, I have to prepare myself and remind myself all these years that I was undocumented, that DACA could be revoked at any time. And that's why I also prepare myself, having plan B, C, and even Z, even though I wasn't really mentally prepared to have those plans. I kind of had to, just because I have children that I have to take care of. I have a family, I have a home, I have so many other things, right? And I really hope that you remind yourself that even whether you're a DACA recipient or not, that we know that there is opportunities for us. And that's what I hope that we find in this workshop and the next workshop, which is going to happen tomorrow. So all I'm going to talk about today, I will definitely be talking about more about my professional journey tomorrow. And Nicole, thank you so much for that great introduction. I appreciate that. So this is a little bit about my position and why I talk about this and why I have undocumented professionals. But let's go ahead and get started. I also want to get to know you a little bit more and who's in the room, how you're doing. One of the first things I like to do, because we want to start to have transparent conversations today, I want to do a check-in. And I know there's so many negative things and maybe sometimes not good news out there. I want to know what puts a smile on your face. And I know it could be, any of this. It could be 2 things, 3 things, all of this if you want. But if you can choose 1 or 2, which one would it be? Is it the weather that puts a smile on your face, the food, friends and family, community, nature, or good news? Please share in the chat. And if somebody can help me with the chat. Ooh, I see a lot of 3s, 5s, 1, 5, 1, 3s, 2, 3, 2s. Definitely 3. I see a lot of 3s. Okay, 3, 3, 5, 2, 3s, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Nature, right? Especially right now in the summer. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4. Okay, 4. My cat, I love that. I love it that you're being specific. Thank you. My cat, yes, I love that. I have 3 dogs. I don't have cats, but one day, hopefully. 4, since I'm in Idaho. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I've never been to Idaho. I'm sure it's beautiful. For me, it's actually God. Yes. Thank you for being so specific. Love that. Love it. Please do. I have 2 dogs. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, and that's something maybe I should add here. Spiritual, right? Number 6. I'm gonna add that. Thank you for the person that shared that God is what they puts a smile on their face. Being the first to graduate. Yes, family. Number 3, community. Love this. Please continue to share. And thank you so much for sharing with us in community. I love this. I already can, feel how this is going to be this workshop. So thank you. And just a little disclaimer, all this information that I'm going to be sharing today is for educational purposes. I am not a lawyer or financial advisor or certified accountant. I know sometimes conversations just happen and I share certain personal anecdotes or experiences or information from myself and also from others in the community. And this happened. So I just want to be clear on that and make sure that we have that. And our first activity for today, since I know this is going to be a great workshop because everybody's already sharing, this is going to probably go pretty fast. We're going to try to do this in less than 5 minutes. It's a mini networking bingo, and you get to do it by yourself, which means this is for you, right? So it's an individual worksheet. And what I would like you to do is to respond to each prompt as a bingo. You can go, across, side, the goal is to make it a bingo for yourself. And I want you to respond to each prompt as it pertains to your own life and experience by writing your answer on where it says me, you will put your name. Of course, we will be writing this, but we're going to be using the chat. I want you to share your 3 answers in the chat. So for example, your ideal career, let's say for me, was to actually be a dentist. I wanted to be a dentist a long time ago. But I didn't do that for whatever reason. But if it's whatever your ideal career is right now, that's what I want to know right now. What is it that your ideal career is? And then the next one that I would do would be the strongest skill. I think my strongest skill is building community. And then intended college and major. And then that's how I do my bingo. I add my answer to the chat. And I want us to please check on everybody in the chat. Share your 3 answers in the chat. You are also welcome not to participate. I want to be respectful of everyone feeling comfortable in this room. So if you do not want to share, that's also fine. But if you are okay sharing, please share. And you have 3 minutes to complete this portion of the exercise. And this is where I want you to network, to please check what others are writing. And if you feel like you can connect or you have something that you would like to either tell that person, maybe you share the same ideal career, then go ahead and connect. This kind of workshops really gives us an opportunity to get to know each other and to connect with each other. So let me see what you're saying in the chat. Thank you, by the way, for everyone sharing. Ideal career, high school counselor, connect with me. Everyone that is in education, high school counselor, teacher, please connect with me. I'm an educator, and I'm going to share a little bit more about my professional journey next tomorrow in the next workshop. But yeah, please, that's how we make these connections. My intended college major is biology. Try to do the answers of the three, so you can do your bingo in one chat. So that way you don't have like multiple chats, just because it's easier for others to connect with you. So if you can answer the three questions that you for your bingo in one chat, I will appreciate that, please. Thank you. Strongest skill that I saw there, sports or lifting. Wow, nice. Thank you. I have ideal career, psychologist major, forensic psychology. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, thank you. Intended college major, political science. Intended college major, psychology. Favorite hobby, listen to music. College I want to attend, Lehman College. Nice, thank you. Somebody did it in one chat and gave the 3 answers. Thank you so much. I have a computer engineering major. Biggest fear is not finding a job. Rutgers University. Yes, I would. Yes, that's definitely a big fear, especially if we don't have certain, documents or certain information or just certain resources. Definitely the biggest fear. I totally can relate to that. Strongest skill, fast learner, and adjust quickly to new environments. Thank you so much. You just need 2 more. So if you can add 2 more, that would be great. So that way you can do your bingo. Let me know if you have any other questions about this. And this is a great opportunity to read through the whole chat and just check. We have, let's give it 2 more minutes for people to share and to also start looking at everybody else's chat so you can go ahead and start connecting with each other, or at least get their name, right? I know we're all in this same, we're going to be here tomorrow as well. So get maybe the first and last name of the person that you want to connect with. And tomorrow you can send a message and say, hey, I saw that you're also interested in this major. I'm also interested in this major. Gustavo, I see ideal career, lawyer. Yes, I think I saw. Let me go back. Lawyer. Awesome. I see someone, Gustavo said lawyer. I see Leslie, intended major, nursing, ideal career, pediatric or neonatal nurse. Favorite hobby, playing tennis. Wow, amazing. Awesome. I see now everybody's answering all 3, doing your bingo. Thank you so much. And I see also connections already happening. So networking. Somebody said, oh, I'm also in CUNY. Yes. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Love this. One more minute, and then we're going to be done with this activity, which you are all doing amazing. Thank you so much for being so open to sharing. I love the vibe that is happening here. Everybody's sharing. Okay. And then I have to be a lawyer, major of political science, not sure about the industry. I'm just sure that I'm sure there's many. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you don't have to answer all of them. If you don't have an answer and doing your bingo, 1 or 2 answers is okay as well. Thank you. Hi, dear Shared. I see something. My name is Apolina Risas. I am a writer and career coach at the New York Public Library. I would love to get in touch. Yes, please. You guys will have my contact information, so please feel free to contact me as well. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for participating in this mini networking event. Please feel free always. Workshops like this ones are an opportunity to connect with one another. And I highly encourage you to do the same thing you did today with this mini networking bingo, to do with other workshops as well, especially these career workshops that are going to be happening, which I saw all of them and they look all amazing with the other speakers. So also another opportunity to connect. Thank you so much. We're going to move to the next one. Keep writing, keep adding in the chat. Thank you so much for participating on that. And now we're going to go to the definition of a career path, right? We know that this workshop, we're going to be talking about career pathways or career path. I wanted to make sure that you have some of that information. A career path is a specific set of jobs that prepare you for upward growth in your industry. So definitely a set of information. What is it that I can do to prepare myself as someone undocumented to reach upward mobility? That's really the goal. How can I get paid a little bit more? How can I get into careers that I never saw my family get into? I'm the first one also in my family to get the highest pay that none of my family has ever been able to. And why? Because we deserve to occupy those spaces, right? Have you ever mapped out the steps you need to take to prepare yourself to that job, or what qualifications will you need before applying for that position, and what types of companies need that position? This is coming from betterup.com. If you want more information or want to kind of read a little more about this, where I got the info, but it gives us an opportunity to remind ourselves that being someone undocumented, or being the first in our family, which a lot of undocumented folks or students are also first generation students, we face very different, a different situation when we come to academia, right? We face academic, financial, and cultural challenges. We may also face anxiety about belonging. Career planning may really not be something that we even think about, because there's no time to think about career planning when we're trying to pay our school, when we're trying to put food on the table, when we're trying to help our family, our parents, to put food on the table. It just really becomes something that we don't get the privilege to think about. And I hope that today you do get an opportunity to think about that. So with that, I want to give you 10 tangible steps to finding your own career pathway as someone undocumented without work authorization. And this one, I just want to remind everyone that this is, I want to be honest, that this is not going to fit to everyone. Everybody's in a different journey. Some of you may already have this information. Some of you may not, and that's okay. The goal is that some of this information can help you in any kind of way. So one is one of the tips that I want to give you is building community as someone undocumented is one of the most important things you can do, because building community in and outside your institutions is very important overall for your success. And I can tell you, I used to be a person that I would want to do everything by myself. I put too much burden on myself because was not used to building community. I was not used to asking for help. Even today, I still struggle asking someone for help. And I want to tell you that I make the biggest mistake by not building community sooner in my journey. How can your community help you? There's so many ways your community can help you. Even sharing a GoFundMe can go a long way, right? Sometimes we just need money for the last 2-3 classes. And if you have a community, you can share that GoFundMe. You're probably going to be able to pay for those 2-3 classes a little bit sooner and without stressing so much. That's how community really is so powerful in having as someone undocumented. Also getting involved in your school, such as being involved in organizations, participating in volunteer opportunities, and also developing meaningful friendships to integrate yourself into college and also outside of college. I think that's very important. I think before I used to think that I only needed to focus in building community in my college, but to be honest, you want to build community both in and outside to have a bigger community, because we're only going to be in that institution for such a long time. Like, we're not going to be there it's only going to be for a certain time period. And then after that, it can be very lonely to be outside and not really having another community outside of those institutions. And the second one that I want to talk to you about is really understanding the difference between being an employee and self-employment. That is huge for someone that is undocumented without work out there, that does not have work authorization. And one of the ways that you want to know that, I know that US Dream has so much information, and I've been seeing a lot of their information that they have out there, and it's great. Use it. I know you probably have this already, but I want to encourage you to continue learning. If there's still some doubt about what the differences is, please ask. Okay, because it's very important that you know the differences between being an employee and self-employment, which comes down to taxes, because this is where some trigger happens to me, because I'm like, okay, you don't want to give us any of these benefits, right? This country does not want to give us all these benefits, yet they do want us to work. They do give us an opportunity to work, because at the end, all they want is our money. They want us to pay taxes. And that's why there's ways to work without work authorization and social security number. So get to know a little bit about that, even though it can be triggering, and at least it is for me. Number 3, know that an ITIN, which is what is one of the tools that you're going to be needing, especially if you do not have a social security number or work authorization. There are so many benefits of having an ITIN, such as not just getting involved in working and having your own business, but also building credit. There's a lot in the community that don't know that with an ITIN, in some states, you can build credit with an ITIN. Also, I already see, especially here in California, there's all these car companies that are already saying, oh, we take ITIN and can give you a car loan. Driver license. You can get a driver license in some states with just an ITIN and other forms of ID, but now you don't necessarily need a social security number, and so much more. So be very mindful that ITIN is definitely a tool that you want to use as someone that does not have work authorization or social security number. I also want to ask this question, and if you can please edit your answer in the chat. There's no right and wrong. I don't want to, we're here to learn. So I want you to answer this question. Can an ITIN or EIN, if you don't know what an EIN is, it's fine. I don't want to confuse you. Just think of an ITIN. Can an ITIN be replaced as a social security number or work authorization? Yes or no? Please add it in the chat. I want to know what you think. And again, we're all learning, so it's okay if you get it, wrong. All right. Please. And let's see what everyone is saying. Make sure I'm going to the chat. What do you think? Yes or no? I see no. One yes. No, ma'am, that fits. I'll pick you up. Thank you so much, Valerie. That's funny. Yeah, so the answer, which I see most of you answered no. The answer is no, and most of you were right. And thank you so much for sharing and being honest with me. That's why we're here. We're here to learn. Number 4 is really knowing the different income generation options without work authorization or social security number. I still have a lot in the community that share with me that they are not sure about independent contracting or never heard about independent contracting. But all of this that I have here on the screen are ways to generate income with just an ITIN or EIN number, which is independent contracting, freelancing, being a partner of an undocumented business. This could include a co-op, for example. And then the last one is you being your own boss. You're working for yourself by yourself. So that's being all of this. The ones that I have here are considered self-employment. You're working for yourself. Different ways, different forms, different business entities, but at the end of the day, you're being self-employed, and that's what you can do with an ITIN or EIN. And if you are not familiar with one or two or all of this, as much as you would like, I would say please continue to learn a little bit more about them so that way you are more familiar, so then you can decide what works better for you. Next is to really, as a student, I would highly advise you to please use your career center as often as possible. I know sometimes we feel like in these centers, we're not going to get the right support. Nobody's really going to understand our situation. But just know that in the career center, as a student, you have a lot of benefits of having someone that can review your resume. Even as self-employed, you do want to have all of that as current and in the best possible, like up to date resume, cover letter, and all these other resources that they might be able to help you with. So, for example, one of them that I used a lot was for my resume, but I also would go for interview skills or interview just kind of shadowing, or somebody shadowing and kind of answering me, giving me questions. That helped me a lot. Also, they have a lot of these tests that they give. The career center has a lot of tests. So if you're still unsure about which career you want to go into, use everything that you can at the career center, even if it's not for necessarily specific for the undocumented community. I also want to share with you this rubric that I have for helping the career centers. There's more and more undocumented research centers working with the career centers and collaborating together. And I do provide consulting services to them. And I created this guide and tool to be able to help them. It's a rubric that kind of identifies some of the needs of their career center to make it more undocumented friendly. And you can use it for yourself as well when you go to the career center if you want to, because remember that being undocumented, we have to continuously be advocating for ourselves. Sometimes it gives an opportunity to open a conversation to the career center. Hey, I noticed that you don't have this for the undocumented community. Look, you can use this guide or tool to help you identify other ways that you can be more inclusive to the undocumented community. And maybe that can open even just hopefully a conversation with them. So maybe later on in the future, they can start having more information for undocumented students in their career center. That's definitely already happening in a lot of career centers. Also, I've been hearing more, the more I work with employers and bring, this inclusive career services and resources, student rubric for them. And the more I'm talking about careers with employers, the more I'm hearing, oh, I'm actually interested to hire someone undocumented. Can you tell me more? How else can I bring someone undocumented to work with me? And the more I'm doing that, the more I'm seeing that there's more willing to work with us. So it's just a matter of educating them, of again, continue to change some of their internal policies in there. So it's already happening, which I'm very excited to see. Number 6 is telling employers and others about your immigration status is optional. This is one of the most frequently asked questions that I get. Should I tell my employer that I am undocumented so they can open an opportunity for me? This is your choice. It's nobody should be telling you, yes, go and tell this person, or no, don't tell them. It should be based on how you feel about it. Nobody should be forcing you to say or not say. The other thing I want to mention about telling employers about your immigration status is that the Federal Immigration and Nationality Act, which is the INA of 1952, this is so old, prohibits employers from discriminating against people based on their real or perceived citizenship or immigration status. However, on the other hand, the Federal Immigration Reform and Control Act, IRCA, of 1986 requires you as an employer to verify that all of your workers are eligible to work in the US. And the reason why I say all this, because I feel like some of this is so outdated. And that's why we need to change policies to really start being more inclusive to the undocumented communities. But yeah, so you're not required to share your immigration status. It is your personal option to do it or not disclose it. And then you also want to make sure that you know that at the time, if they, let's say they hire you for that interview and you never told them that you're undocumented, then they're still going to have to require certain paperwork. And that's when it comes in where you have to know what's being an employee versus self-employed means, and how you need to what's the law with that in your state. Also, let's be honest, but not everyone that discloses their immigration status will land an opportunity. Just because you're disclosing it because somebody had a very positive experience disclosing their status during a job interview, unfortunately, does not mean you are going to have that same situation. I think sharing your status is like everything we do being undocumented is a risk. It takes a risk, right? It's you don't know which way it's going to go. And that's why you're the one that has to decide. One tip that I want to give you, though, is do your research before you share your immigration status. Who works there? What kind of company they do? What's their mission and goal of that company before you share your immigration status? I think that has really helped me in kind of deciding who should I tell and not. You just never know. So you decide on that. Number 7 is get hands-on experience. And what I mean with this is really go out there and just try to do the work. You're not gonna be able to know if what the career option for you would be, or career pathway would be, if you don't have some type of experience. I tell you that because I never thought that consulting was going to be for me. I always thought that I only wanted to be in counseling sessions with my students. And until I started to do the consulting, and until I started to teach classes, is when I found out that I actually like teaching classes. So really getting involved and get your hands dirty is going to really be the key to knowing what kind of job you want to have, what kind of career pathway you want to follow, what kind of um, major you want to go into, etc. So internships, part-time jobs, everything really that can help you in some way. One of the things that I always get is volunteer work. Oh, is that an experience? Of course it is. Even if you're not getting paid, or it's totally, I know that being undocumented, sometimes we don't have the privilege to get paid. Then I would just know that it's still experience. Just because you're not getting paid does not mean it's not an experience and that you can't add it to your resume. Same thing with lived experiences. Being undocumented, we have different types of experiences than anybody else will have, So definitely adding that on there is also lived experiences is also an experience that you can add to your resume. Research work and self-employment opportunities are also an experience that you can add to your resume. So 8 is develop your professional network and social capital. I went from having like 5 people on my network to now having, I want to say meaningful relationships that I built is going to be to 3,000 people in my professional network. And I can tell you right now that that has helped me so much. I've had interviews and people know me in those interviews that I have never met. And they come and tell me, I know your work. I like your work. And this is what I like about it. It's like they're over there, like advocating for me in the interview. You just never know, right? Who you're going to meet, and building your network is just so important, especially building your network inside and outside the institutions is also very important. And also create, as you're going on your journey, get the tools that are helping you, get the resources that are helping you. For me, it was very, very hard to find tools and resources. And I always had to do so much research to get those tools and resources. But I hope that we're doing a better job in helping you not to take 3-4 years in getting that tool and resource, and that it's just taking you a week to get the tools and resources that you need for your own journey to find what's best for you. But some of the tools that I use, are LinkedIn, are also the work that I'm doing with undocumented professionals. Parker Dewey is another tool, but there's many more that are not on here. 10 is, I think, one of the most important ones. So we're going to end it strong here, because 10 is the last, but certainly not the least, is to do everything in your power to prioritize your health. One of the things that I did with the undocumented professionals network community is we built this summary guide that is called Things I Wish Someone Had Told Me when I graduated as an undocumented student. And we did that in hopes that it can help you in any kind of way. But one of the things that we remind undocumented students is that, to be honest, the reason why it's hard for us, it's more challenging for someone undocumented to find our career pathway, is because the systems in place are not intended for undocumented students. We were not supposed to have graduated. We were not supposed to choose a career, right? According to the systems in place. And I think this guide kind of briefly gives you some of that information. So you're going to have this copy of this presentation, so you can click on the tool and then be able to get to the summary guide. So hopefully you can read that and can help you in your journey as well. And the last thing I want to talk about is the action plan. This is what I'm going to be talking about in the next workshop, which is happening tomorrow. And what I hope that you get from this guide is, or this action plan, is to be a guide for you to create your own action plan. I know being undocumented is hard to think about a plan, especially long-term, because of so much happening, especially with the politics and anti-immigrant climate that is happening in so many different states. It's hard to think about creating a plan, but I can tell you that there is definitely a plan that you can create, and it can be short-term. It does not have to be long-term. And it's for you to reflect, to guide you, and to just maybe even write just notes on it. So that way later in 1 or 2 years, you can go back to those notes and be like where kind of reflect on where you are now and so on. So let me go ahead and see if you can get into it. Yeah. So you'll be able to see how the action plan works. I want you to use it again to create your own plan, and it will help you to identify some of the work experience and employable skills that you're going to need, personal experience, educational history, personal attributes. Even if you have some education in another country, which I know a lot in our communities, they're highly knowledgeable and so much more in other countries, they can do that. You can go ahead and add that, because that, no one should take that away. That experience, you should also bring it, into your new plan that you're gonna have. And then it talks about your personal, personal things such as employment, career options, and so on. And we're gonna talk about the kind of the last part of it tomorrow, but again, you're gonna have access to this, so you can also go ahead and start checking on it, reviewing it, see how it can help you, see if you can answer some of these questions. Because the more that you answer, the more clear it will be what you can do as someone undocumented in as a career. Like, what is it I want to do in my career? How can I do it? Now, where can I get started? And this will definitely be a tool that you can use to get started.
And thank you, Charette, for presenting today. Unfortunately, we can take maybe 1 or 2 questions. And for those of you that will be leaving us shortly, do know that Charette will be presenting again tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can also use the same Zoom link. She will be presenting on connecting your major to your future entrepreneurial career. And we do also apologize. Thank you for bearing with us for some of you that were unable to get in to Zoom. We are planning to not have that be an issue in the future and moving our cap on how many can enter for a Zoom meeting. So hopefully that shouldn't be an issue moving forward. The question is, does anybody know of any companies that accept independent contracting roles? I'm 1 year post-grad and I haven't found any.
Yes. There's actually much more contracting opportunities than we think there are. I think that's why it's so important to continue to have these conversations, because there are tools like the ones I mentioned earlier. I think that was number 9 of tools that you want to use and utilize for your benefit of finding those contracting opportunities. And one of the things that I share is there's 2 ways to find these contracting opportunities. One is to use those tools, and the second one is you create your own. What do I mean with that? That you want to also bring those contracting opportunities to you and not just you applying to those opportunities. So there's 2 ways to doing it. You applying to opportunities that come. And I know on our Undocumented Professionals, we do have a community job board that you can use. It's free. You can use it. Just bear with us because we're so behind with some of the updates there. But we hope that it should come back to normal. We kind of had a little pause for 2 months because we were working on other projects that we're bringing with Undocumented Professionals, but it should be back in August, back and running. It was running and it was being updated every week, and we stopped doing it, but it should come back in August. And we have a lot of opportunities there that are intentional about opening it for the undocumented community. A lot of them are contracting opportunities. And use the tools that I shared in number 9. In the meantime, such as LinkedIn is one of them. In LinkedIn, you can go to filter job when you're looking for a job in LinkedIn and look for contracting opportunities. Just be very careful because not all of them are, even though it says it's a contracting opportunity, it's not contracting. You just have to make sure you read through that full job posting. So that's one of them. And there's actually a lot of companies that are very open and flexible to opening and creating and having a 1099 contracting opportunity, more than what we think. Like I said, the more I'm talking to employers, the more I'm seeing in them saying, yeah, actually, yeah, let me know how I can create a 1099 contracting opportunity because I didn't even know I could do that. So it's just, again, about educating the employers and letting them know how to do it. And then of course, they will decide if that's something that they want to do. But there's definitely ways to do it.
Well, thank you so much, Charette, for your time today. Thank you, everyone who was able to join us. We hope to see a good number of you again tomorrow, same time, same Zoom link. Charette will be the guest speaker on connecting your major to your future entrepreneurial career. Thank you all.